It's the International Soccer Preview. We are Soccer Files Canada. Welcome to Series 31, looking at the players of the 2025 African Cup. This episode is looking at the players of Algeria. Part 1, the candidates. Here we go! Hello and welcome to the International Soccer Preview by Soccer Files Canada. I'm Kevin and this is Series 31 on the players of the 2025 African Cup. This episode covers Algeria's players. And in Section 3 we want to welcome listeners who are just listening to the short version of Part 1 on Algeria's players. So I'll just tell you that in the full version we introduced the candidates, we gave reason we placed them according to their likelihood of making the final squad and gave reasons for that, as well as career information on the main players especially. So in this review, we're not really concerning ourselves with predicting starters. That's something we're going to do in Part 2. But we're just looking at the candidates and their likelihood of making the squad. So we begin with manager Vladimir Petkovic. He's been the manager since February 2024, and has qualified them for the World Cup. So we feel pretty sure that he will manage them through this tournament. Goalkeepers, we have a definite candidate in Alexis Guendouzi, but we have a lot to report in the injury section, including on him. So we're going to go fast here. We have likely candidate Oussama Benbout, and then 4 possible candidates: Anthony Mandrea, Alexander Ukija, Luka Zidane, and Zakaria Boulhafea. I won't mention most of the seemingly off the squad players, but since Race and Bowley came back, and because 2 of the goalkeepers are injured, we wouldn't be surprised if Race and Bowley came back kind of out of the wilderness, as he did for the 2023 African Cup there. Anyway, he does seem to be off the squad. For central defenders, we have 2 definite candidates, Aissa Mandi and Rami Bensebaini, and then a likely candidate in Mohamed Amin Tougai, and then 4 possible candidates: Mohamed Amin Madani, Zinedine Belaid, Ahmed Touba, and Sami Chergui. Moving over to left backs, no one at the definite level, but we have at the likely level 2 candidates, Rayan Aït-Nouri and Jaouen Habjam, and then at the possible level, Mehdi Dorval. Right backs, again, no definite candidates, but a likely candidate in Youssef Attal, and then 3 possible candidates: Kevin Guitoun, Mohamed Farsi, and Rafik Belghali. On upfield to, defensive midfielders, we have no candidates coded as defensive midfielders, but we have a raft of players coded as central midfielder. None at the definite level, though. So at the likely level, we have Nabil Bentaleb, and then 5 possible candidates: Ramiz Zerouki, Houssam Aouar, Adam Zorgane, Ismail Benasser, and Ahmed Kendouchi. In addition to that, we have left and right midfielders who also play basically as central midfielders. Both of them are at the likely level. On the left, we have Faris Chaibi, and on the right, we have Hikam Boudaoui. And probably one of the more likely players, Boudaoui, there to be starters. Moving up to the attacking midfield, we look at the left side attackers, and we have definite candidate Mohamed Amoura, and then likely candidate Saeed Benrahma, and possible candidate Youssef Belaili. On the right side, a definite candidate in Riyad Mahrez, none at the likely level, but possible Anis Haj Musa and Ilan Kebal. And central attacking midfielders, just a possible candidate in Ibrahim Maza And now I can say finally, because we go directly to forwards, where we have a definite candidate in Amin Gouiri and likely candidates in Baghdad Bunecha and Yassine Benzia. Okay, that is it for the review of players. Now we have a lot to talk about in terms of big names off the squad and injuries. Let's start with big names off the squad. Well, we'll begin with manager Jamel Belmadi. He coached them through to their second African Cup title in 2019 and survived a last place finish in the group stage in 2021. But when it happened again in 2023, that was it. He is out. Next, we have goalkeeper Ray Mboli, 96 caps for the national team. We thought he was out before the 2023 African Cup because he hadn't played in the build-up to that, but suddenly he was called back in and made the squad. We think that might happen again this time once you see the injuries for goalies, but last appeared in that African Cup on the bench in January 2024. Next, we have Sofiane Feghouli, and he has 83 caps with the national team since 2012. Last appeared in the 2023 African Cup as well. Sofiane Feghouli, and he's 36 years old. Ray Mboli, 39 years old now. Next, we have Yassine Brahimi. He's 35 years old, 69 caps for the national team. Didn't actually appear in the 2023 African Cup, but did appear afterwards as late as June 2024 was his last appearance for the national team, but not called up since then. Finally, we have Islam Slimani, 102 caps for the national team and 47 goals. With Algeria since 2012. He's 37 years old now, but made it to the last African Cup in 2023, but that was his last appearance for the team. Those are the big names off the squad. Let's go to injuries, and we have a lot to talk about here. We begin with two goalkeepers. The definite goalkeeper Alexis Guendouzi, out with a calf injury since very recently, mid-December 2025 here, and an unknown return date. It doesn't look good for him, but we will say unknown now, and hopefully in part two we'll get some updates for some of these injuries. Next, we have possible goalkeeper Alexander Ukija. He's out with a cruciate ligament tear since August 2025, but still an unknown return date. But maybe things a bit more hopeful for his return. So that's two goalies out. Next, we have central defender Rami Bensebaini. Well, he was out with a back problem for the November internationals, but was playing with his team in late November. So we can say Rami Bensebaini has recovered from injury. Another central defender, Mohamed Amin Tougai, out with muscle problems since before the October international and an unknown return date. He's no longer on the injury list, but has not played for his club. So hopefully between now and part two, we'll see that he's played for his club. He is a likely candidate as a central defender, and we're going to call that unknown right now. Another central defender, Samir Churgui, at the possible level, out with a hamstring injury since late November and an unknown return date. That doesn't sound good, but right now we'll put it as an unknown and hopefully get more information. We have a left back, Ryan Aït-Nouri, no longer on the injury list, actually. He's a likely candidate, out with an ankle injury for the last 4 international games. But in early November, he came off the injured list. However, he's only played 1 minute for his club and has otherwise been on the bench, so may still be recovering. That is Ryan Aït-Nouri. I'm going to put him back in the expected back category because he has, it seems, been recovered for quite a while. Next, we have likely right back Youssef Attal. He was out with a leg injury for the October matches, but he returned to action in early November, so we can call Youssef Attal recovered from injury. The other right back at the likely level, Kevin Guiton, is out with an unknown injury since late November and an unknown return date. So that doesn't look that good. Next, we have a central midfielder, Mohamed Farsi, but he's been playing as a right back. So that makes it 3 right backs with injury concerns. Mohamed Farsi has been out with a pelvis injury since mid-July 2025 and an unknown return date. So obviously that's a serious one, but we'll put him as unknown as well. Central midfielder Ahmed Kanduchi is at the possible level, out with a fractured lower leg since early May 2025. However, did return to play for his club on November 25th, but has 2 bench appearances and 1 substitute appearance of 15 minutes. So it looks like he's still recovering, but we can say expected back for Ahmed Kanduchi. Next, left attacking midfielder Youssef Belaili, out with a cruciate ligament tear from late November and an unknown return date. That doesn't look like he'll recover in time, but we're not sure, so we'll put him as an unknown as well. And wow, finally, we have Amin Gouiri. We're currently deciding whether he's a left attacking midfielder or a forward. He's a definite candidate, though, but out with a shoulder injury from late October 2025. And here we do have an expected return date. That is January 20th, 2026. So that puts him out of contention for the Cup. So they'll probably have to rely on Bunaja again here now that they're missing forward coded as a definite candidate. That is a lot to deal with for injuries. And we're going to move on. We're going to skip closing thoughts here and go straight to the preview for part 2. So that'll come out when we look at the preliminary squad and the final selections. We'll be able to tell you who made it and who didn't. We'll pay attention to any notable non-selections and any surprise inclusions and any new players. Anything that's really different from what we covered in this media cast. Of course, we'll give updates on those many injuries they have. And one of our tasks in part 2 is to actually predict the starting lineup. So we'll do that in our Spotlight review. Okay, that is it for part 1 here. And stay tuned for part 2. We would like to thank Pixabay and Cold Fingers for the wonderful music used in this media cast. The title of the piece is Eid Mubarak.